to Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Jay Reed. How's everybody doing today? Well, we have a great show that's lined up for you today. I believe it is a show that will truly motivate you and inspire you, because that's what we're all about here at Let's Talk About It. So this is what I need you to do. Grab a snack, sit back, let's talk about it, and we'll be right back. Hey, this is Jay Reed, and I'm so excited about my new show, Let's Talk About It. And I want you to connect with us on all social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. I look forward to connecting with you. We're truly grateful because as we reflect on the last 2 years, 2020, 2021, many people have suffered great loss due to COVID-19. Today, my guest truly has a story that will teach us how to hold on to our faith in the midst of life's uncertainties. He is called the modern day Elijah, prophet to the nations, father to the fatherless. Please help me welcome my friend, Bishop Prophet Antoine Jasmine. Elated to have you sharing with us on today on Let's Talk About It. And of course, I've known you for quite a few years, and I want our platform to get to know who you are if they don't know who you are. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I think the intro kind of spoke as a prophetic grace. My bishopric came through Rome. It ties to, it's called secessions, which give you validate your bishopric. It's not just a certificate. So my number is leads to the Roman Catholic Church, which I'm not Catholic, but that was the original duty of the bishop, was to do the community side of what we do in Christendom. And of course, the prophetic side comes with intuition, foresight, insight, and hindsight to speak into individuals or a governmental relationship that needs to consult with the prophet, as Elijah was to the kings, and that was the historical church. So we know we have a different flair of prophets. So I just want to put that disclaimer there. I am a youngest of 3 boys. My mother raised us in church, Baptist church specifically.
All right.
But she placed me in Catholic schools, and so they say I was the spoiled one, but I was the one that my mother prayed that God would make me different from the other 3 boys, and the Lord He did just that. Okay. So I'm an entrepreneur. I love fashion sense and going to church. My mother would dress us in suits in the Baptist church, and so I'm being younger, so I get the hand-me-down suits from the other brothers. So people say, look so nice. My mother said, my baby looks so nice in his suit. So I like the sound of looking good in suits. So I decided to step it up a little bit, being dark-skinned in the South.
Come on.
You wanted to...
dark-skinned brothers, okay.
And back then it was so beautiful because I went to Catholic school. I was the darkest, and the dark guy wanted the light-skinned girls. Yeah. And I went to white schools in high school, so I was the darkest. So then it created a complex of dark skin syndrome. And so I had to work through layers of self-esteem issues. And as I began to discover my travel ministry as a prophet, then I would go to nations like India, Africa, and they would just give me lavish suits and things and dress me. And I said, wait a minute, my people will never experience this, because many of us don't get the opportunity, as yourself, to travel the world globally. So they initially gave me suits and dressed me in. So I formed a clothing line, which gave Euro suits, close fitted suits, and the African flair. This is my fashions, and we made it work from Africa, Europe, and India.
Wow. See, when we were dialoguing before we got on camera, I checked out his outfit and I said, now I'm obsessed simply because Mickey Mouse is on the arms.
Oh my.
And everybody that knows me know that I am a big fan of Mickey Mouse. Everything, all things Mickey.
I felt strong tuition to
Come on. I appreciate your tuition. So I just got to get one of those out.
We can get it made.
Absolutely. So listen, you are a prophet, a very sought after prophet, and you have traveled the length and breadth of this country and abroad. I followed your ministry for many years. Your church is located in the city of Laplace.
Yes.
What's the name of your church?
My church is Choice International Ministries. Laplace is one church in 2 countries. We're also in the Netherlands as well, which is right near Amsterdam. It's about a year of work, and so we are going to plant also in Africa. Now we know the U.S. is home, but there is more honor that comes from afar and more acceleration. So I'm going to go where I'm honored and render my allegiance to where I'm honored, but still love begins at home first.
Absolutely.
And spreads abroad.
Yeah.
So Choice International, 15 years of pastoralship, has been a wonderful experience. I did not want to pastor, and that thing just kind of came about. And this is the premise of my pastoralship, because I'm not really a pastor. I'm a prophet, but I'm a prophet that pastors, so there's a different flavor of grace.
Yes,
You're a pastor, you have a kind heart, and you're good to people. People love you, you know. So,
Some people.
I am a bona fide prophet that could be a bit cultivational and not nurturing. So, but I've raised up pastors around me that can feed the flock. It was on the premise of Malachi 4 and 6. He will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children and the children to our fathers. Our culture of black men are suffering. So they need an image of an iconic black man that's not selling drugs, not an NBA player, not an NFL player, just a regular dark-skinned guy, just got a little swag, making it work, and winning people for Jesus. I say, how did you get your business? Well, God did it for me.
Come on.
So when I go to the gas station, are you a rap star? No, I'm not. I don't really tell them I'm a preacher because they would assume that I'm wearing the church money, but I was an entrepreneur way before pastoring. I make sure I'm the backup plan for the church. In case it falls out, I have a backup plan.
That's it. And now that's a lesson for all preachers, all pastors. Always make sure that you have a backup plan. And not only that, but I mean, one of the things that I teach to younger pastors and those that I mentor, and even my church, I teach them that multi streams of income is very important, especially in the day and the time that we're living in. It is so important that you tap into the creative power that God has placed in you, the Bible tells us that He's given us the power to get wealth. So all that you need is already locked up in you. All you got to do is just tap into it.
Yes, sir.
Listen, we want to jump into your story because, again, you've lived an amazing life, and that's the one thing I can appreciate about this particular platform, because we endeavor to have real conversation with real people with real stories. And as amazing as your journey has been, of course, your journey has not been without challenges.
Right.
And so we want to get into that a little bit. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back. So stay locked in. We'll be right back. Hey everybody, I'm so excited about our new show, Let's Talk About It with Jay Reed, and I want you to be a part of the conversation. All you have to do is go to our website at www.letstalkaboutitjr.com and register to be a part of our studio audience. I look forward to seeing you. Welcome back. We've been talking with Bishop Prophet Antoine Jasmine, and before we went to break, well, of course, we were talking about his amazing journey through ministry and entrepreneurship. But again, life always presents us with challenges. And in the opening introduction, we talked about how, of course, we know that we went through the world, went through a rough 2 years. 2020, 2021 was rough for many people. and we suffered great losses. And I am familiar with your story of the loss of your parents.
Right.
So I want you to share a little bit about that.
Well, 2020 changed everything. My parents were resilient parents. They were fairly healthy. My mother was a warrior. By me pastoring, it answered the call to pastor, according to Malachi 4:6. I had no idea that it would reconcile my mother and father, who was divorced for 10 years. So it gave them a platform to be called Mother Jasmine, Pop Jasmine, ordained them, licensed them, gave them credentials to my Bible college, fully accredited, and gave them all the benefits that a son would give his parents, the level of honor and respect. So me winning the world and winning people for God and enjoying the challenges in ministry that comes with being who I am, but yet overcoming and seeing my mother and father in church with me with their youngest boy is a great feeling. When no one's there, they're there. They're there every service.
Yes.
When Pop said I'm not coming, mother was in that seat. So 2020 hit. I was coming from Europe, and it said the pandemic is hit. COVID hit. Get out of Europe. So I left Europe, came home. My last service was a Monday night. I hugged my mom and dad, and then by Sunday, they were home and thought it was the flu symptoms. At that time, it was no mask needed fully, and then I started feeling terrible. So I went through some COVID symptoms and things. But they were resilient. My mother in the healthcare system, she knows when to admit herself if need be. So she admitted herself, and we had nurses in the church that would assist my parents. They were that type. They were everybody's parents, so everybody wanted to fight to take care of them. So March hit, and they were admitted to the hospital. My mother was having some breathing problems, so she know that put me on the breathing machine momentarily. My dad was resilient, very active man, slim, fit like I am. And so the flare of that. So for a whole month, they're in the hospital fighting for their lives. Mother never came off the ventilator. Pop just went from quiet. He got real quiet. I wouldn't hear from him. So I think he had a consensus that his wife would not make it. So he didn't want to leave alone, be left alone. He had to have my mother with him. So the ironic story of that experience would be that they were reconciled, but God allowed them to transition both on the same day, April 10th, 2020, 4 hours apart. So that was heartbreaking because the man who raised the dead, literally, I raised 2 people from the dead. I said, oh, well, I'm just going to go bring them back. That's not a big deal because I believe there is God. It's not done until he says it's over. And he stepped me back. He said, this is not between you. It's between me and them.
Wow.
It's what they want, not what you want for them.
Wow.
I know you feel you failed the assignment, but this assignment is for me and them, what they want. And they chose to battle for 30 days. And typically, people don't battle that long at the first wave of COVID, which was the worst. And so they transitioned to go home with the Lord. So we had to adapt to the new normal, the new, but the surety was that they transitioned knowing Jesus. And so since that time, I've got many premonitions, that we're good. And from where we stand, move forward. Greater season is coming because we were the seed for you to go into the ground to produce a greater harvest.
Wow.
So we've inspired CNN. We did a full spread. Many other articles locally and abroad that reached the world was very kind to me. The Asian countries were very kind. The only people wasn't as kind would probably be our people. So, but as well, I think people thought it would throw me off, but it just fortified me on certain layers. So that's my experience in 2020. So I did write a book of their story, Beauty for the Ashes. My parents on the front cover of the book. You can get the full story of how they were raised. My mother come from a mother. My grandmother was an alcoholic and she was a whore. She slept with every man that she could sleep with, while my grandfather was a deacon in the Baptist church who married a young woman.
Wow.
And so they were both product of that experience. My grandfather on my dad's side battled mental issues. So yet my mother prayed a prayer that none of her boys we have any mental battles. So that woman combated every assignment of the enemy. So I'm grateful to have two great parents. My dad was entrepreneurship, wealth ideas. We have judges, we have wealthy merchants in our family. Jasmine lineage is still with those type of people. So I was blessed that God gave me parents of this magnitude that I can, it can open the grace that God gave me. We can be gifts to the world, but if you have the wrong openers, it can cause a lot of problems. Woo! God gave me the right openers in parenting. I've honored them. They traveled to Africa with me. I gave them seats. So the Lord spoke to me, well done, you have fulfilled your assignment to your parents. And now they're seated in heavenly places with Christ, awaiting your arrival at the proper time.
You're really helping me right now, because my mother went to be with the Lord in December of 2021.
Now you spoke of your mother quickly. When you were seated, I spoke of my mother. I saw the woman picture on the wall in the hallway. And the spirit of this woman had walked through this place. So she's with you. Yes. I'm telling you, I felt it. I said, what is this? He says, this is the mother who transitioned. And the word is of the Lord that she's forever with you to carry out this awesome assignment that God has given you for the world. So I add that caveat to you.
I appreciate that. Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah. I was sharing with one of the mothers of our ministry on last Sunday, and just felt led to just kind of take her out for a drive. Wow. And I was sharing with her on the drive. I said, one of the things that I endeavored to do with my mother, particularly, I would tell her I'm always trying to create memories. I'm creating memories. And I thank God for that He's afforded me the opportunity to be able to bring her places and allow her to see things that probably she would have never ever experienced in her life. Wow. And so I carry that with me. I carry that with me, even as she has transitioned to be with the Lord. Again, we are excited. Again, you have a few books actually that you have published. Yes, of course, let's grab these. Again, Beauty for Ashes. You want to make sure you check this one out. And then there is another one, Preparation After Prophecy. This is a whole segment in itself. Yes, Preparation After Prophecy. Just real quickly, I'm running out of time, but real quick, just give me a little nugget on
Preparation After Prophecy. There are conditions to prophecy. Mm-hmm. It gives you 21 steps to fulfill every prophecy concerning your life. Okay. I received a word in 2006 that I will meet President Barack Obama when he is the president. I said, no way possible. This black man will not be the president of the United States. But it happened. In 2016, I walked in the White House and met President Barack Obama and his wife in an awesome experience. So prophecies are for fulfillment, not to be fulfilled, but conditions are termed. That things I had to do to fulfill that prophecy.
Okay. You're messing me up. You're messing me up here. Because oftentimes, after receiving prophecy as believers, oftentimes we don't think that there is still work that we must do. Right. And we have to do our part. We have to do our part. So
21 steps how to fulfill every prophecy.
I got to get this. And you have to get this too. All right? Also, I see you have a children's book here.
Yeah, we have 2.
All right. 2 children's books. All right. So this is one, Angels Are My Super Friends. Tell us a little bit about this.
Angels are active. This is for the kids. We have over 14 manuscripts of books that are written about the prophetic and angel work and angels, types of angels. Kids are exposed to so many demonic things. Why not expose them to angels? We have names of angels. The little black boy in the front, that's me. Kind of talk to my friends. And angels, the angel systems work in the prophetic. It works in our day-to-day. It don't replace God, but they are servants to serve. If you acknowledge them, then they work for you. I'm a mentorius. I lose keys all the time. Now I don't lose keys because they help me and they nudge me to find when I lose things. They're here. So I want to expose kids, and all of my kids in our church have the book, and they'll memorize the book from the front to the back, and a coloring book to go along with the book as well.
Awesome. Listen, you mentioned earlier you have a clothing line as well, and of course we're going to check this out. You have an event that's coming up.
Yes.
So let's mention
this.
this.
Africa Comes to America. Africa Comes to America. Grand Gala, the return of the Kings and Queens.
All right.
So
when is that happening?
That is October 29th at 5 p.m. until we are done.
All right. And how can people get tickets, or how does that work?
Tickets, they can go to my website. Simply call the number 985-651-7844, or DM me or inbox me, and we can get you those tickets. Wear your best African apparels. Most of the fits you see, male and female, is by my design.
Awesome. So here on the screen, of course, these are all of your social media platforms. Antoine Jasmine, Instagram, Antoine Jasmine, Facebook, Prophet A. Jasmine on YouTube. Listen, this has been an awesome conversation. I have to have you back. So you did mention that you are an entrepreneur, and we talked a little bit about your clothing line. You do have an event that's coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this event is called Africa Comes to America, Grand Gala, the return of Kings and Queens. This was also inspired by my parents because I wanted something to in their memory. And last year we did it was standing room only. So it's going to be greater and better this year. We'd love for you to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Maybe, I guess, entertainment. We know you multi.
All right, you planting the seed. All right.
And we'll dress you free outfits and let you just change here.
See now, come on. He's selling it now.
Yeah, so that's at 5 p.m. October 29th. Dress your apparels African. If you don't have African apparels, just wear all white will be sufficient.
Okay, so how do people get tickets for this event?
Call the number 985-651-7844, or go to any of the media platforms and let us know you want to attend. It's $50 per person, and it's going to be a grand event that you will not forget.
Well, we look forward to this. And again, make sure you hit up Bishop Prophet Antoine Jasmine, again, on his social media platforms, Instagram at Antoine Jasmine, Facebook at Antoine Jasmine, YouTube. Of course, you've got to go to his YouTube channel and experience his ministry there at Prophet A. Jasmine. Again, I hope that you've been inspired by this conversation. Definitely, you have to come back because we have to dig in just a little bit more about this book here, Preparation After Prophecy. I love it, I love it, I love it. Listen, we'll be right back. Well, today has been an awesome show. I hope that you have been inspired and motivated. I would like to thank all of my guests. Until next time, let's keep the conversation going and let's talk about it. I'll see you next time.